online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go show. And now here's your host, Evan and Bonnie.
.607 on the Get Up and Go show. I guess I got to raise my my headphones up. Something's not working right here this morning.
Yeah, mine sound a little bit on the dull side frame.
Yeah, I just fixed it. Okay. Had to bring my volume up a little bit on the soundboard. I think we're okay now. Somebody messed with the levels. Should be okay now, Bonnie.
Yeah, and it feels okay. I just don't want to, I like my sound levels right because I don't like to be yelling and like I'm yelling on the radio waves when I can't hear myself.
Just open the front door and yell out the door. That's all.
Yeah.
So it's Friday. We've made another week. Today is June the 5th. So that means we are in the 6th month of the year, 5th day of the 6th month, which means we are almost halfway through the year of 2020.
Yeah, and
can't wait for it to get over.
Something to be cheerful about this morning. Phase 2 is beginning this morning, this Friday, where some businesses, like the bars reopening at 50%, and movie theaters is what I'm excited about. They're going to be able to reopen at 50% capacity as well. And I see some of the bowling alleys have gotten started too. It looks like, I think the Stuart Lanes bowling alley is open.
Mm-hmm.
Only the St. Lucie Lanes in Port St. Lucie still remains closed.
You going to go to a movie later today?
Not today,
no.
But I might be heading out to my neighborhood pool tomorrow.
Neighborhood? Oh, I thought you have a pool in your backyard.
I don't. I'm going to be building another one this summer. My pool washed away. It washed away in February.
I have a suggestion for you. Go to Home Depot and go get yourself a shovel and start digging some dirt.
Yeah.
Keep digging a hole and dig deep and keep digging and digging and digging until you get a big enough hole.
Yeah.
And then get your hose out and turn the water on. And there you go.
There's my pool, right?
There's your pool.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
That would be like kind of a dream pool because I could probably dig it as deep as it could go until I hit that solid rock underground.
You could hit the other side of the earth if you keep going.
I do have to head out to Lowe's or Home Depot though, and I get this soil. It comes in these red and white bags, about like 40-pound bags.
Okay.
So I'm going to be buying some more of those before I get my above ground pool again and be leveling out my backyard a little bit further before I.
Here's a little piece of advice for you. Before you put that pool down, make sure and also buy a huge blue tarp.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So before you put the pool down on the soil, put a blue tarp down.
You know it.
Then put the pool on top of the tarp.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have a separation of the soil and the tarp.
You're right.
Should your pool leak, then you won't wind up with a mud pie.
Yeah, you're right, Evan, too. I'm going to look for a really, really thick tarp this time. I might even double my tarp, double tarp above that, the soil on my ground. But, boy, we've been getting a lot of rain. I know Martin County reported some 11 inches of rain, like in the last 48 hours. And
it's almost a foot.
Just want to, just tell drivers to drive safely. Some of the roads are closed. Some of the roads in Martin County are partially closed.
Yep.
A lady at work last night showed me a picture of what was happening on 39th Street in the Palm City area.
Ah, okay.
And it looked like that street looked like a river. She had to drive to my workplace with her huge truck. Fortunately, she had a big truck. But
I did a modification on my vehicle yesterday.
What'd you do?
So it could swim in the water.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, now it's an aquamobile.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
That's what you need right now.
Yeah, I installed these floaty devices underneath my car.
Wow.
So I just flip a switch and all of a sudden, this like inflatable rubberized thing pops out from all around. And if the water's too deep, my car will just float down the road.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Does that really?
Yeah.
The newer trucks have that kind of device?
I installed it myself though.
It's really what you need.
Yeah. I installed it myself. I wanted to be careful.
You're kidding me, right?
No, I'm serious.
Are you joshing me?
I'm serious.
You know how to
I'll
do
show
that?
it to you.
I mean, did you have to look that up on YouTube?
No, I put an air compressor in the car and everything. And I just flip a switch.
I think you're joshing me.
No, come on.
I got to see it to believe it.
All right, well, I'll show you.
Some of these roadways,
though,
yeah, you got to show me because I really want to see this. It's called an amphibious car.
It's called an amphibious vehicle.
How much would one of these vehicles cost?
Well, it's not the matter of the vehicle. You could put it on your car. You'd have an amphibious Mustang.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to do that to my Mustang and make it amphibious right now because I might want to send it down the river.
You go.
I got to get some new tires on that thing.
Hey, I want to say good morning to a good friend of mine. Benny Gilby is listening. Benny is a longtime friend. In fact, Benny, if you're listening to the program, I would love for you to call in. And if you're not too shy to talk about what I know what happened, I'd love to have a discussion with you this morning and see how you're feeling on the air. Give me a call, 772-220-9788. 772-220-9788. A very special good morning to Benny. I've known Benny for many, many years. Since he's knee high to the waist, so to speak. I've watched him grow up. He grew up with my kids. I did his brother's wedding, Jeff. I saw his brother Jeff, his brother Sergi, his mother Evelyn, and boy, let me tell you, Evelyn, his mom, that's a whole another animal right there. And I mean that in a good way. If you were ever part of the Gilby family, let me tell you, you never wanted to get on the bad side of Evelyn. That's all I got to tell you.
How old is Evelyn? How old is Mom?
Mom's, I don't know. She's probably in her 40s or 50s. I'm not sure. But I saw her for the first time at the wedding, and she still looks the same. But let me tell you, you never want to get on the bad side of a Latin woman because there ain't nothing worse than a Latin woman's scorn.
Yeah.
And man, when they get going, woof, man, you're in deep trouble.
She might be swearing at you with some swear words probably that you don't understand.
Yeah, we're talking pots and pans flying through the air.
But you would know when she was angry and ornery, right?
Yeah, definitely so.
Wow.
Without a doubt.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah, definitely without a doubt.
So, Benny, what's he doing? You sounded for a moment like you were...
I didn't want to say anything because I don't like to divulge people's personal business.
Dr. Nine. Call Dr. Nine up in the morning.
Yeah, call Dr. Nine. Call me Dr. Nine this morning. But I'm not a doctor, but you can call me Dr. Nine. I have a good friend of mine by the name of Mike James, otherwise known as Mighty Mike. He's a radio broadcaster. You probably know who he is.
Yeah, that's what I know. A priest and a rabbi used to call Mike that was working here prior to you. They would come in and call him Mighty Mike.
Yeah.
So now I know.
Yeah, but there's only one Mighty Mike, though.
There is?
Yeah, there's only one Mighty Mike.
Can't
be two of them.
I didn't know that. Yeah. I've only known him as Mighty Mike. So,
that's all right.
I'm aware of another, I guess.
That's all right. No big deal. But going back to the whole, we got off track. We were talking about the amphibious vehicle. Yeah, it's there's amphibious vehicles out there that you can literally drive them right down the boat ramp, and they'll go right in the water, and they'll float right down the waterway, and you flip a button, and little outboard engine comes from underneath, and you just kind of tool right down.
There should be, because there are the ducks, like up in Wisconsin Dells, where the ducks is a vehicle where everybody rides in this bus sort of like vehicle.
Yeah,
and then you're right, Evan. This one too will hit the Wisconsin River and turn amphibious. Yeah, and all of a sudden you're sailing down the river on it.
Yeah, now those kind of vehicles have the built-in flotation devices, but the other ones that I was talking about, you just flip a button and
wow,
just like that.
People are needing
total
that
inflation.
Because I'm telling you seriously, this lady that showed me the river that was on 39th Street, you couldn't even tell where the roadway was.
Yeah,
it's kind of like,
you can take an airboat and you can go down the middle of the street in an airboat. I'm dead serious.
And you got to be fearful, like when you hit any kind of floodwaters in the morning and or in the dark time hours.
Yep.
Even when that road might look kind of safe to go through.
Mhm.
You don't know, when that car is going to go in the ditch, lose control.
Mhm.
I hit I think it might have been following Matthew a
Mhm.
couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I was heading up to our sister station on 25th Street through the dark,
Okay.
through the early morning hours, and it was dark. And there was some flooding from that in that
Okay.
area.
Okay.
And I hit those waters, and I kind of panicked.
All right.
But what I did was I was able to turn around,
Okay.
and I got out of that, and I went out to US 1 and headed north and took that alternate route.
Want to say good morning to Phil. He's watching this morning. Also, Joshua Stowers is watching us as well. Good morning, everybody. If you want to call and participate in the program, we welcome your calls this early in the morning, 772-220-9788. That's 772-220-9788. Bonnie, I remember a while ago, we had some serious flooding in Port St. Lucie a couple of years ago, and I was cruising down the road, and I'm thankful I have a truck that's pretty high up off the ground, and I'm cruising down a little side street, and I see this, it's like a PVC pipe sticking up in the middle of the road.
Oh, good gosh.
So I'm just kind of cruising down, and it was a snorkel. And there was a guy snorkeling in the road, and you couldn't see him, and he finally just like stands up.
Yeah.
And he just kind of blended in with the water.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, it's amazing what people do.
I know it is. It's weird to see, like, I
Snorkeling
remember
on the street.
images too of, I remember how high those waters got down in Miami.
Mhm.
And that might have been following, was it Dorian? Or it might have been another. It might have been Irma. It might have been from Irma. But they showed the city streets of Miami and those big high buildings,
Mhm.
and the city streets looked like they were just like rivers, man.
Yeah. Now I know that where I live, yesterday on the drive home, I think it was yesterday or the day before, the lake that's on the corner where I live had breached the top, so it overflowed into the street. So you literally could see like some fish going down the road.
Oh,
literally.
Really?
Yeah, you could see some fish going down the road.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Oh my gosh.
I'm dead serious.
That
You can
had
see
to
some
be
fish going down the road.
something to see on the turnpike last night too. I was looking at the side of the turnpike,
Mhm.
and man, those sides look like huge rivers.
Yeah.
There's some real
Yeah, it's a lot of rain. A lot of rain.
Lots of rain.
My pool overflowed, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Didn't bother me none. It means I don't have to pay for water to, fill up the pool when it precipitates into the air because of the humidity. I just let Mother Nature do its thing.
And it's nice about the pool when that Mother Nature does that, and maybe you don't want to go in that flood water in the rains. You can always like throw your patio furniture in there.
Oh no, that's the worst thing to ever do.
Wash the furniture,
no,
right?
that's the worst thing to ever do, even in a storm.
Why is that?
That is the worst thing.
I've heard people doing that.
No,
though.
Worst thing you could ever do is throw patio furniture in a pool because it'll crack the pool. It will crack the bottom of the pool. It will crack the concrete.
Oh, is that true?
Worst thing, the two worst things that you could ever humanly possibly do, is throw patio furniture in the pool and let half the water out of your pool. Because what happens is the patio furniture will crack the pool, and then if you let water out of your pool, the pool will pop out of the ground.
Oh.
And then you've really got a serious issue on your hand.
You don't
so
want
you
that.
never want to drain your pool.
Yeah. And those pool repairs can be some serious money.
Yeah.
For those in-ground pool repairs. Do you have a saltwater pool at your house? Is that saltwater filter?
I have a salt pool, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, those are really clean. I had a neighbor friend that I used to always go and swim at in one, and this neighbor friend was like a grandfather to me, But that saltwater pool, seriously, you just come out of that feeling seriously refreshed and clean after.
Yeah,
I like swimming in it.
Definitely so. 6:21 right now. It's news time. Let's go to the news desk, where Bonnie is standing by with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. A Fort Pierce police officer turned himself in Thursday night at the St. Lucie County Jail. WPTV's Kelly Dunn has the details.
Police officer tonight turned himself into the St. Lucie County Jail. Officer Albert Eckroad is charged with felony battery, official misconduct, and falsely reporting the commission of a crime. Multiple sources tell us this incident happened back in February at Lawnwood Regional Medical Center. Lawnwood confirms there is hospital video of the incident, but investigators have not yet released that to the media. We have also confirmed at least one additional officer is being investigated. Eckroad has been on paid administrative leave since February.
The Florida Department of Health in St. Lucie County has issued a swimming advisory for the River Park Marina, North Fork of the St. Lucie River. The advisory comes after water samples results showed higher than normal levels of enteric bacteria. According to a news release, there are potential health risks for those who ingest or come in contact to the water. The symptoms include upset stomach, diarrhea, eye irritation, and skin rashes. The department said swimming is not recommended due to the increased risk of illness at this time, and the advisory will continue until results are satisfactory, said the department. Vero Beach officers and members of the community came together Thursday night to hold a unity event on the front steps of the police department. This was the second rally held in the city Thursday, calling for a change and an end to police brutality following the death of George Floyd last week in Minnesota. WPTV's Treasure Coast reporter Derek Lowe reports from another unity event in Vero Beach.
Fully supported the event here today in Vero Beach, but they wanted to take it a step further. They hosted their own event on the front steps here of the Vero Beach Police Department so that officers could build relationships and hear directly from citizens. Just hours ago, though, several people marched downtown by the businesses, spreading carrying signs and chanting in unison that they want justice for George Floyd. This coming only a day after learning charges have been upgraded for the officer accused of putting his knee on George Floyd's neck, and charges were filed against 3 other officers accused of standing by and not intervening. It makes these protesters feel as if peaceful protests like the one here today and those nationwide are working to give them a sense of justice.
Maybe has opened up some of the eyes of the people in that legal system to really see that there is a big problem and they really need to address it.
Powerful. I love it. For little town Vero Beach, this is what it needs.
The protesters and police also did take a knee together in the middle of the march for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, reflecting on George Floyd and taking a moment of silence. Now, back out here live, you can see things here at the police department are just wrapping up, though. Several people on those front steps of the police department building those relationships with the officers. We'll have a full recap on that tonight at 11, though. Reporting in Vero Beach, I'm Derek Lowe, WPTV News Channel 5.
Just as phase 2 of Florida's reopening is getting underway, the state is dealing with a large rise in coronavirus cases. The Department of Health announcing over 1,400 new cases, which is the most ever reported in a single day. And lastly, brace yourself for some bad news as the May jobs report is released later this morning.
May unemployment rate is expected to get close to 20%. Estimates are all over the place, and part of that is just because it's such a dynamic situation. It's obviously unprecedented.
Texas Longhorn football players marched with Coach Tom Herman and members of the Austin Police Department to the state capitol building yesterday afternoon, joining the national protests against racism after the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis. Other Longhorn coaches joined Herman and his wife and players as they walked from the north end zone of Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium to the Capitol grounds about a mile away. Players, coaches, and police knelt together for 9 minutes, about the same amount of time Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin kept his knee on Floyd's neck on May 25th. News time is 6:25, and weather and traffic together are next.
6:26 to show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. All brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
We aren't seeing any accidents to report. Just keep in mind that there are some roads that are flooded in the Martin County area, including Southeast Dixie Highway and Heritage Road, also Craig Street and Southeast Parkway. Flooding there, James Street and Southeast Parkway, and also Sea Branch Boulevard and Southeast Federal Highway. Use caution, maybe 73 in Port St. Lucie and in Stewart, 75. Here's our forecast, WPTV.
Here on the Treasure Coast, partly to mostly cloudy with isolated rainfall possible. Then this afternoon, scattered to numerous showers and a few thunderstorms. Some rainfall will be heavy and more localized flooding is possible. Flood watches remain in effect for our entire area today. High temperatures in the low to mid 80s, mostly cloudy skies and light winds out of the southeast. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Do you have a suggestion for the show? Send us an email, WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. And now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
6:30 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's a Friday. It's the Friday edition. And it's amazing what your friends of your kids will do for you this early in the morning, Bonnie. And on the line with us, I was talking about him just a little bit earlier. Benny Gilby joins me. Like I was mentioning before, Benny, I've watched him and his brothers, Jeffrey and Sergi, grow up knee high to the waist. And God bless their mother, Evelyn. She's a one-of-a-kind individual. I know Benny will start laughing when I talk about his mom because he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Right, Benny?
Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah, your mom's definitely a one-of-a-kind breed. I love your mother to death. She's definitely I can just envision her right now sitting at the ball field while you're out. You got the catcher's gear on. You're behind the plate, and you miss the ball, and she stands up, and I can see the finger, and she's waving it, and she's screaming at the top of her lungs at you right about now.
And me just shaking my head like, oh man, here it comes.
Yeah, right. And I got, Mom, please don't embarrass me. Anyway, I want to introduce you to our listening audience. This is Benny Gilby. He's he grew up with my kids down in Green Acres. We all used to play baseball together. I used to coach and umpire. And Benny has since grown up into a fine young man, just like his brother, Sergi and Jeff. I didn't miss any of your siblings, did I? That's everybody, right?
Yeah. My dad has a 4-year-old son. My newest Gilby, Michael,
Right.
my little brother.
Right. I met him at the wedding. I remember meeting him at the wedding.
Correct. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And that's it.
Yeah, three's enough for your mother to handle. That's all I got to say.
I don't know. It seems like when we were growing up in Green Acres, she raised a whole lot more than just the three of us.
Oh,
but-
yeah. She was like den mother to just about everybody. But as I was saying before, Benny is a pretty cool guy. He unfortunately, COVID-19, he fell to COVID-19, but in a very unusual way, he found out that he had COVID-19. Benny, I want to kind of let you tell your story. You got sick one day to your stomach through, I guess it was food poisoning, right?
Well, they couldn't give me a direct answer when I went to JFK Medical.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up one morning in tremendous pain in my stomach, started vomiting, and just knew something wasn't right. I tried to tough it out because I didn't show any symptoms of having a virus or a cold, anything they said to look out for. We were practicing social distancing. We were doing everything. Our company provided us with masks. I went to work. The problem still persisted. I said, this isn't right. I left work. I went to the hospital. I noticed that my smell and my taste was completely gone by that time.
Mm-hmm.
When I said that to the doctors, once they already had triaged and put me in a room, they started freaking out. I didn't know that was even a symptom at the time when I was sitting in the hospital. So
Right.
then they come in and test me, and they admit me immediately. Once they decide they're going to test me, they admit me. They send me upstairs. They put me in a room, and I see one person every hour on the hour, and that was it. The doctor twice.
Now
The very next
they
day-
tested you for COVID-19, right?
Correct.
And how did they test you? Did they do the nasal swab?
No, they did a throat swab.
Oh wow, okay, that's different. I've never heard of that before.
Oh yeah, that's what I expected to get. Whatever the horror story everyone was telling me about sticking a Q-tip all the way to your brain.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, tickling your brain, so to speak. Okay.
Yeah, I was so nervous about that, and then the nurse came in and swabbed my throat and was in and out in seconds, and completely painless, harmless, and I was confused still on what was going on.
Okay.
The next day comes. They finally, around 7:00 at night, I finally get an answer.
And
that
this
I
is
tested
Thursday.
positive.
This is Thursday evening.
This is Thursday evening, around 7:30.
Okay.
And my nurse finally comes in. He's like, "I just want to let you know, you did test positive for COVID."
Oh boy, your
And
heart
that-
must have sunk down to its lowest.
I wanted to cry. One, I was alone. Two, I had my son over the weekend, and if you know how my mom raised us.
Yeah.
We shower love. When my son does something, I'm hugging him. We went fishing.
Right.
I was affectionate to my child, and it scared me because it wasn't social distance. I hugged him. I kissed him on the forehead.
Right.
And I had to call his mom and break the news. Like, hey, I just tested positive, and I was with our child for 3 days ago.
Right.
So a lot of things were going wrong. I seen your daughter over that weekend before I tested positive, and that scared me because that it's not fair to me or anyone else that was around me to be exposed. And
right.
It was just a scary feeling overall, just being in a hospital. Nobody's really telling you anything. You're isolated from everyone, and you have to start making phone calls and think about anyone and everyone that was around you for the last however many days. Now I have to think about when I even came into contact or was potentially exposed and how long I was exposed. There were so many things running through my mind, and not having any answers from a doctor or a nurse. I was sitting there freaking out. I tell you what, it was just a scary experience. And
you were what's called asymptomatic, which
Correct.
means that you had no fever, no shortness of breath, no coughing, nothing, zero zip zilch. So Thursday night they give you the diagnosis, and then they slap you in a wheelchair on Friday, and they send you along and tell you to go home and stay inside for
they said, hey, if you feel anything, come back, which I thought was weird because they said the first thing the doctor said is if you have symptoms and COVID, we're just going to send you home for 2 weeks anyways. So all that started. We spoke 2 days after I got out of the hospital, and you talked to me. I felt like an iron horse.
Yeah, like nothing happened. Bonnie has a question for you.
Yeah. Did you right away get your son tested, and how did he make out?
Fortunately, by the grace of God, everyone that I know that was in close contact with me tested negative, including my son.
Good.
Everyone that, once I made those phone calls, everyone, made the right procedures. Everyone went and got tested. My son's mother went and got tested. My son was tested. My best friend and roommate was tested. Everyone that I could think of got a phone call saying, hey, you need to get checked out.
Right.
And like I said, by a miracle, no one was tested positive other than myself.
What a blessing.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the Lord.
I'm glad.
That's
I'm glad
the Lord
it's
working
not
his magic. That's the Lord working his magic, that you and I had a conversation about prayer. Yeah, that's God working his magic on you. That's all I got to say.
100%. There's no other, in my head, there's no other answer because, I couldn't tell you the mental state that I'd be in if I would have gave it to my son, if I would have gave it to a close friend, if I would have gave it to my 90-year-old grandmother.
Yeah.
These are things that ran through my head every day until I knew results.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Benny, just how sick did you get from it? I'm not really familiar.
He didn't get sick at all.
No,
that's what I mean.
I just now regained my sense of smell and taste earlier last week. I want to say Saturday, I started to be able to taste stuff. That was the only symptom that I went through this experience. Was the loss of smell and I lost the ability to taste, which was for me. If Evan will tell you, I'm a bigger guy.
Yeah.
Food and me are like,
that's his best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's his comfort.
So
that's his comfort.
Food, that was the big struggle. But
yeah.
I hear about all these horror stories that people have gone through and not making it and almost, passing on. And I just feel blessed that I didn't have to experience that. And my heart goes with those families that are experiencing it.
Are you a healthy guy to begin with? Are you do you have a strong immune system to begin with?
I like to believe so. I may be a bigger guy, but I play softball 4 days a week.
Yeah.
I play tournament ball. I work in hospital construction as a trade. I'm very active. I go hunting during hunting season.
And he's young. He's in his. I think you're in your 20s.
28 next month.
Yeah, he's in his 20s, so he's a young guy, just like the other gentleman we had on about a month or so ago that almost died.
Yeah.
So here you have two different perspectives. You have somebody that almost died, and then you have somebody that was asymptomatic, like Benny. So now you're getting two different perspectives,
scenarios, and
of what's going on.
And did you go and get retested and find that it was over?
Yeah, they instruct you to wait at least 10 days before going back to a testing facility. So Wednesday was my 11th day. It would have made 12 or 11 days. So I went in. They took care of me, tested me. Now the funny part is I didn't get the nose swab again. They swabbed my nose, but they didn't go all the way in the back. They just went gently inside, swabbed around. And that was it.
Really? See that now that leads me to believe. That leads me to believe, Benny, that is it really necessary for them to go all the way back to your brain cavity to do this, because they only went in your nose and swabbed around just on the inner part of your nose this time?
Exactly. Wow. And my foreman and all the guys that I work with that went to the same facility to get tested, they got their brain tickled.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I know about it because they made sure I knew that they were not happy that they had to get their brain tickled.
Wow, that's amazing. So now you're still quarantining until you get your results, which hopefully will you be getting those today?
They told me 2 to 4 days.
Okay.
I'm hoping to know by later today, maybe tomorrow.
All right.
If that's the case, if they let me know tomorrow, I'm putting a mask on and I'm going to the beach.
Yeah, right.
I haven't seen anything but the inside of these walls for the last 2 weeks, and I'm telling you that I'm ready.
Yeah, you and the pizza guy are probably best friends by now, right?
So the Uber Eats is my go-to, but the Uber Eats driver already knows the deal. He knows the table by my front door, and he leaves a note saying, "Hope you get better," every time he walks by. And I every time someone comes near my house or my neighbors, I've been respectful to let them know the situation, and they've been all good with it. Nobody's been treating me like when I go.
Now you have a roommate. You have a roommate also, don't you?
Yes, my best friend.
Okay. And how is he handling everything, or is he went to stay with somebody while you're quarantining? How is that working out?
Yeah, the moment that I found out I was getting tested for COVID, I immediately told him, "Listen, dude, pack your stuff in a bag, wash it the moment you get to your house, take all your clothes, get to your mom's house." He stayed at his mom's house. He's still there, and he's just ready to get back home. Poor guy. But he went and got tested just like everyone else, and his job found out, and like with everyone else, everybody's been. Unfortunately, this affects more than just you having to go get tested, because you have to tell your job you're potentially exposed.
Yeah.
So now your job's making you sit at home for 2 weeks. So now a lot of people's lives were affected just because I tested positive. And I wasn't even sick, So this experience has been one that I don't want to go through again.
It's a good thing you didn't have more people living at your house that had to move out.
Yeah. that just wouldn't have been good.
But you're right. How many lives this affected in so many ways and time. It takes a lot of time too.
Like I mentioned earlier, I was in contact even with Evan's daughter. And she's one of my childhood close friends. Like and when I see her and she sees me, it's love. We hug each other. We embrace each other because we know each other as family, not friends. And unfortunately, we embraced each other the weekend before I got tested. And I'm praying to God that, that didn't happen either. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
she's healthy. Thank God for that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, she's okay. Thank God for that.
Did your daughter get tested too?
Yeah, she has. It's part of protocol for what she does.
For police.
Yeah, it's part of protocol and stuff like that. So, but she's healthy as an ox. Everything's good there.
That's good.
And even that, to think that I could potentially risk somebody that we need on the street helping to protect our community. I could have took a uniform officer off the street for a couple of weeks. Yeah, it's just those things in my head that I'm sitting at home thinking that I've ruined some lives, and it wasn't my fault, and I wish everyone health and love and peace, and I just want to get through this. And like I said, I don't ever want to go through this again. This is for people who know me, like Evan, I'd much rather be outside.
Yeah,
playing with earthworms than inside of my
or sitting at your favorite pizzeria eating a large cheese pizza pie, right?
Digging up those sand crabs.
I tell you what, Vito probably thinks I moved out of Florida. I need my pizza.
He's probably saying, "Where did my business go?"
Hey, listen, Benny, thank you so much for joining me on short notice this early in the morning. Give my best to your family, your brothers, and when you tell your mom, and you talk to your mom, tell your mom I love her and I miss her, and I look forward to seeing her real soon.
Well, Evan, we appreciate you and your family and everything you guys have ever done for us. And like you said, it's all love. And And I thank you for having me on here and being able to share my experience. And
mad love without a doubt, man. Mad love without a doubt.
That has COVID and it's going through what I'm going through, or even worse, I pray that you make it out all right. And we're all here. There's always somebody that's willing to answer the phone. I didn't know Evan was one of those people, and he's now that person. So,
I told you, my number. You can call anytime, 24/7. I will answer my phone. Definitely. You know that.
I appreciate it, Evan.
All right, brother. Love you much. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
All right. Bye-bye. Wow. There you go. Powerful story, huh?
Yeah, and it's good that he, got over it and he didn't get all of the full-blown symptoms like of a COVID. But it sounds like he's a pretty healthy guy in the first place.
He's a bigger guy, but he's healthy.
And I hope he can make it out to the beach, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, got to get him to the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to get there, get back in the water. 6:46 news time. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. The ground is soggy, the skies are often full of thunderclouds, and the threat of more rain could bring more flooding, especially in hard-hit Martin County. Some areas of Martin County received over 11 inches of rain Wednesday alone, according to the National Weather Service in Melbourne. Rainfall was estimated at 2.78 inches per hour over the past 2 days in St. Lucie County. The area received between 3 to 5 inches of rain. Some isolated spots got up to 5.5 inches. A Fort Pierce police officer turned himself in Thursday night at the St. Lucie County Jail. WPTV's Kelly Dunn has the details.
Police officer tonight turned himself into the St. Lucie County Jail. Officer Albert Eckroad is charged with felony battery, official misconduct, and falsely reporting the commission of a crime. Multiple sources tell us this incident happened back in February at Lawnwood Regional Medical Center. Lawnwood confirms there is hospital video of the incident, but investigators have not yet released that to the media. We have also confirmed at least one additional officer is being investigated. Eckroad has been on paid administrative leave since February.
Florida businesses are readying for phase 2 today, but not long-term care centers. Visitations are still on hold at assisted living and nursing facilities, which house those most vulnerable to COVID-19. WPTV's Forrest Sanders takes a look at how much longer frustrated families might wait to be reunited.
For nearly 3 months, Fran Jester has been unable to see her mother-in-law, Wilma Jester, who lives with Alzheimer's in a North Florida nursing home.
She's used to me coming and us going out and going out to dinner or whatever. Well, at this point, we can't do any of that.
Weekly visits down to 0 until the state's moratorium lifts. Fran is concerned the longer she waits, the less Wilma will be the woman she remembers.
Sometimes I'm not sure she knows who I am already, so I'm worried by the time I get back in there, she's definitely not going to know who I am.
Federal guidance asks states wait until at least phase 3 for visitations, but Florida's Healthcare Association wants action sooner rather than later.
It's concerning. Is this doing more harm than good? Residents, are feeling very isolated.
Kristen Knapp says her group, which represents hundreds of the state's facilities, created a task force looking at the issue. It found places clear of the virus for 28 days and with enough PPE should be allowed to resume visits with the state's approval.
Nursing homes, this is their home. So these residents want to get back to normal.
The association saying visitors should be limited to 2 per resident. They need to pass screening and wear masks. The group also suggesting visits happen outdoors or in open spaces. Regular testing to ensure the virus isn't present likely key to loosening rules. But at the moment, the state is struggling to finish its first round of tests for employees alone. The governor's staff saying despite the association's concern, visit restrictions will remain until further notice.
We're not going to jump from phase 1 to phase 3.
Begrudgingly, Fran says she gets it. Though she wants to visit Wilma as soon as possible, safety supersedes socializing.
You're just going to have to be patient.
At the Capitol, Forrest Saunders, WPTV News Channel 5.
And lastly, the Florida Department of Health in St. Lucie County has issued a swimming advisory for the River Park Marina, North Fork of the St. Lucie River. The advisory comes after water samples results showed higher than normal levels of enteric bacteria. The department said swimming is not recommended due to the increased risk of illness at this time. Drew Brees has apologized for hurting people with his flag comments earlier this week. He didn't flip his position on the national anthem protests, but he did say that his comments, quote, were insensitive, completely missed the mark, and lacked awareness, compassion, and empathy. He said, quote, in an attempt to talk about respect, unity, and solidarity centered around the American flag and the national anthem, I made comments that were insensitive and completely missing the mark. Drew said he stands with the Black community in the fight against systemic racial injustice and police brutality and supports the creation of real policy change. And he said that he's sick about the way his comments were perceived. It's worth pointing out that Drew didn't flip his position. He's He's just sorry he was misunderstood. News time is 6:51. Weather and traffic together are next.
6:53 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
No accidents to report for St. Lucie and Martin County. Just keep note that some of the roads are closed due to the flooding waters in Martin County. Some of those roads, including Pelican Way, Parkway Drive in Southeast Peacock Street, Orange Blossom Trail in Southeast Sweet Bay Drive, and James Street and Southeast Parkway Drive, also Dixie Highway and Southeast Heritage Boulevard. Areas being flooded, avoid them. There's your latest look at traffic. 75 in Stewart. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
Here on the Treasure Coast, partly to mostly cloudy with isolated rainfall possible. Then this afternoon, scattered to numerous showers and a few thunderstorms. Some rainfall will be heavy and more localized flooding is possible. Flood watches remain in effect for our entire area today. High temperatures in the low to mid 80s, mostly cloudy skies and light winds out of the southeast. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now let's get back to the program with Evan and Bonnie.
6:58 on the Get Up and Go Show. It's the Friday edition with Evan and Bonnie. And Bonnie, I have a top 5 hints that it might be time for a new car. I'm not picking on you or anything like that, but I came across this last night in my readings on the internet, so I wanted to share this with you.
Yes, because I'll get a good one when I'm good and ready.
That's right. I'm not, your car is your car. It
Yeah.
runs, it gets you from point A to point B.
I know my car.
That's
and
right.
I know what it's going to do.
But for those people listening out there, here's one reason: the giant rubber band under the hood started to show wear and tear. Okay.
That giant rubber
Yes,
band.
that giant
Isn't
rubber
that
band.
the serpentine belt or
Yes,
some sort
whatever
of
you want to call it. Also, it's the color of rust, only because it is rust. Okay. Here's another one. Yes, there should be a door on the passenger side of the vehicle. Okay, it needs to be a door on the passenger side.
My door handle's actually falling off, but
Okay.
Anyway.
All right, here's another one. Going 25 miles an hour down a hill to start it seems a bit extreme. Okay, and lastly, there are only 3 wheels on the vehicle.
Oh boy.
So those are your top 5 hints that it might be time to get a new vehicle, Bonnie.
Then I think it would be about time. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean,
we can hook you up with a brand new Ford Mustang. I've got connections at a certain Ford dealership. Just let me know.
won't need AAA anymore.
No. Get rid of AAA because Ford has that. They offer that free towing service. We're going to step back, pause for the news. We're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. It's 7 a.m.
On air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected to the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your host, Evan and Bonnie.
7:07 on the Get Up and Go Show for, what's today? Friday. Yeah, it's Friday.
You happy?
Are you happy? Are you happy?
Why do you ask?
Why do you ask?
Well, it's Friday.
It's Friday.
It just happens to be
International Day of Happiness.
If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it.
Right?
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
It's International Day of Happiness.
And if you're happy, I'm happy for you.
It's showtime, baby.
It's showtime, and I'm happy.
I'm pretty happy that it's Friday.
I'm happy that you're happy.
Thank you, Evan, and
You know?
I'm glorified that you are happy.
I am. I'm happy. Who's happy?
I'm just happy about I'm happy about so much in phase 2 opening and summertime, summer. Well, maybe not officially summer till June 20th or 21st, but June 5th. It sure is feeling that way now with everything going to be reopening a little bit more.
I want to say good morning to Dr. Red Tyler. He's listening this morning. One of my longtime wrestling friends from the pro wrestling business. He is a professional wrestling manager of a pro wrestler or a few pro wrestlers. He's listening to the program. Thomas is listening from Connecticut this morning. I wonder what the temperature is. Weather's like in Connecticut this morning. Maybe he'll give us a call.
I think he had 48 or something the other
not sure.
day.
But you're welcome to call the program. In fact, we welcome anybody to call the program. We have an open format show. So we will talk about anything and everything that you want to talk about. And I mean anything. There is no color barrier. There is no race barrier. There is no barrier on this show at all. We will discuss anything that you want. As long as we can get away with it legally by the FCC rules and regulations, we will discuss it on this program. We have no barriers at all whatsoever. Right, Bonnie?
Open on a Friday morning.
It's open every day.
Like Open Line Friday right here.
Yeah, it's open every day.
Yeah.
We don't care. That's just the way this show works. That's our beliefs, and that's just how we roll with the punches. No color barrier at all whatsoever.
News on the radio. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
It's time for birthdays, anniversaries, and back in the day. And Bonnie, once again, we start with you.
Yeah, two good friends of mine. I want to say happy birthday to Jammin, Jensen, Matt.
Jammin, Jensen, Matt.
Yeah.
Never heard of that one before.
I first met him when I first moved down here back in the day, and he won the Hemingway Look-alike contest locally in Jensen Beach right here, and then he went on to win the nationally known one that's down in Key West.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So happy birthday.
Do you have his phone number?
I used to have it. I think I had it in my old phone. I'm just not calling people every day, Evan, but I keep in touch with them
Let me ask you a question.
on Facebook.
When you got your new phone, did they transfer the numbers over from the old phone?
No, just a couple of them,
Not all of them.
Yeah, just like my mom, maybe my brother, my best friend.
So
but,
the important ones.
But everybody I mention is important.
Okay.
Want to say happy birthday to Lisa Miranda. She was an intern of mine who now lives in Denver, Colorado, is working at a TV station in Denver.
Really? So it's 5 a.m. out there in Denver right now.
Lisa, happy birthday. And we went to the John Mayer concert together back in the day.
Is Lisa awake this early?
She has kids, so I'm really, really not sure at this point.
Let me guess, you don't have her phone number.
Yeah, I keep in touch with them on Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, very good.
I'm not a big talker on the phone.
Yeah, I've learned that.
It's
I've tried to
more-
call you several times.
It's more through text. It's
You don't
more
answer.
through.
You don't answer my calls. You never do.
Oh, you know what I just noticed last night? I think Greg and Carol might have called me in the past too.
That's a week old already.
I know.
It's a week old.
It tells me, when the boss is calling, I better maybe be checking those messages every night.
Yeah. I've texted you also. I never get a response.
Oh, on text.
I see how I rate on your list.
You should get a response. No, that one week with my text you did, or that one night you didn't, because I think I was already.
I'm not in your top 10.
Asleep.
Let's just
That
face
ain't-
it.
that's just
I've
not
never
true.
made your top 10.
That's not true.
You're in my
Evan.
top 10.
Well, you're in mine. I
Okay.
mean, as most important people, like
Okay.
looking at the text. Sometimes I fall asleep early at night and then I'm just not checking them. Does that happen to you?
I'm usually in bed by 8 o'clock, sometimes 9. Last night I went to bed at 9.
Yeah.
Stayed up a little late just because I was a little wired last night.
Were you?
And I pretty much slept most of the way through, which is pretty good. Got up. I usually don't need an alarm when I get up. I'm usually up naturally around 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm out the door like within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Boom, done and over with.
I don't know if that's good or bad. Some weeks I'm like that. It's incredible. And then some other mornings I'm not. I'll sleep right up till that alarm.
Yep.
And I think I like it better when I sleep right up to the alarm.
Now,
Because
tomorrow morning I get to sleep in.
yeah,
I'll sleep probably an extra 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
That's it.
So you'll be up at 5:30.
No, I get up at usually 3:45, 4 in the morning every day. So
yowza.
I'll be up at 4:35.
I'll be up at 5:30 tomorrow.
Yep. Let's get to birthdays, anniversaries back in the day. Troy Sivan from Youth and his Ariana Grande debut dance to this, celebrating a birthday, 25 years old. Sophie Lowe, Lena on A&E's The Returned is 30. Amanda Crew, 34. That's Monica on HBO sitcom Silicon Valley. Mike Fisher is 40 years old today. That's Carrie Underwood's hockey husband.
Oh, Mike Fisher is his name?
Yeah, he's 40 years old
Yeah,
today.
he's a professional hockey player.
Yep. Pete Wentz, 41. That's Fall Out Boy's bassist who married Ashley Simpson.
Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, Fall Out Boy.
Yeah,
Great band.
I like that song that they do with Uma Thurman,
Mhm.
and they have is it the Munsters or the Monsters kind of theme
Couldn't
jam in
tell
that
ya.
song, and
Couldn't tell
they
you.
sing "She Wants to Dance Like Uma Thurman." It's kind of a neat song. It's fun.
I feel like I'm getting close to Karaoke Friday again.
I
with you,
know,
Bonnie.
right?
Nick Kroll's 42. That's Comedy Central's The Kroll Show. Liza Wheel is 43. That's Bonnie on How to Get Away with Murder. Chuck Klosterman is 48. That's the author of Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs. Interesting book. Might want to read it.
An interesting combination.
Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs.
And Cocoa Puffs.
Yes, Cocoa Puffs. Not alcohol, Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg, 49 years old today, the highest paid actor 2017. He earned $68 million that year. Mark was the star of Daddy's Home 2, Transformers, The Last Night, All the Money in the World, and The Funky Bunch Jam, I Need Money.
Mm-hmm.
Brian McKnight, 51 years old today. His big hit, you know what it was?
I should. It's right on the tip of my tongue.
Back at One.
Yeah.
Back
yeah,
at
it
One.
was. That song didn't mean a lot to me, but
Really?
But I remember playing it.
He listens to the show.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, you just threw him under the bus.
Well, he won't be calling me. He doesn't
No.
have my number,
I'll give it to him.
and I don't have his number.
That's all right. Ron Livingston is 53, superstar of two bona fide cult classics. He's Peter Gibbons in Office Space and Rob in Swingers. Jeff Garlin is 58 years old, the dad on the Goldbergs. This guy right here, I absolutely love his music. The guy can play a horn like no tomorrow. Mr. Kenny G, 64 years old today. You know what the G stands for?
Kenny G. Let me see. Gigantic.
No, it stands for Gorlick, not gorgeous like it should.
Oh, gorgeous.
Yeah,
He's got that gorgeous mane of
yeah.
hair. Yes.
Enjoy your Starbucks Frappuccino this morning. You have Kenny to thank for that.
The last time I saw him, he was in the Bad Moms 2. I think it was Bad Moms 2 Christmas movie.
Mhm.
Very, very funny movie. And Kenny G appears in it performing.
Yeah, Susie Orman is 69 years old today. That's the financial advisor.
I
and
like her.
The host of the Susie Orman Show.
I like the advice, the financial advice that she gives.
Uh-huh.
Not to brag or anything, but it seems like
You ever taken it?
when I listen to her that generally I think I have pretty good common sense when it comes to
Right.
finances.
Yeah.
And when I hear her speak a lot of times with Susie, it seems like her and I are on the same page.
Yep. I listened to another financial radio show. Dave Ramsey
Yeah.
comes to mind.
Yep.
And Financial Peace University. is something that he does, and he has all these people that become debt free, and they do debt free screams.
Mhm.
And Dave Ramsey is a great talk show host.
Dave Ramsey, and oh, by the way, we have a really good one too on WSTU right here in the afternoon. He goes by the name of Clark. I hear him when Tom Sullivan, like right around the same time Tom Sullivan is on our sister station.
Okay.
I like his show too, by the way. But Clark has people call in across the nation with for financial advice on so many different venues.
Right.
And I think he does a really good job too.
Freddie Stone, 73 years old today. That's the Sly and the Family Stone guitarist. Bill Moyers is 86. That's the American journalism legend. He's the biggest thing to hit PBS since Bert and Ernie. How about that one?
Yeah.
Celebrating birthdays back in the day in the heavens. Pancho Villa from 1878 to 1923 and the Mexican Revolutionary. So now getting right down to the meat and potatoes of the program. Today, Bonnie, is a day that I should have brought these in because it is National Donut Day.
But I'm glad that you didn't.
Yeah. So if anybody is
I
out
don't
there
need donuts.
listening, since it's National Donut Day, if you would like to be so kind and gracious and bring the Get Up and Go show a couple of donuts this morning. We don't have anything to give you in return. It's just a big thank you, and we'll give you an acknowledgement on the radio. So bring us some donuts this morning. If you know where the Palatial Palace radio studios are, just knock on the door real hard. We'll come unlock it. We will social distance, and we'll do no contact exchange. So you just leave them on the doorstep. Real simple.
What kind of donuts do you prefer,
At
Evan?
this point, I don't care. A donut's a donut,
Like
as long as it's got a hole in the middle.
Boston cream.
Oh, now you're
maybe,
talking.
Or
Now
like
you're
with the
talking.
yellow custard or with the
Now
white
you're
cream
talking.
filling.
Now you're talking. Tomorrow, for those of you that follow these different days, tomorrow is National Yo-Yo Day, and Sunday, this is a good one. It's National Chocolate Ice Cream Day. Sunday.
Yeah.
So you'll definitely get your calories. You'll go into a sugar coma all weekend long. Between National Donut Day, you can spin your yo-yo on Saturday, and then Sunday you go back into your sugar coma with National Chocolate Ice Cream Day.
I do have some of that Publix chocolate ice cream too in the freezer yet. And the vanilla is what I prefer, but this week I bought yogurt, so I'm eating vanilla yogurt instead.
Yeah, 27 years ago
dieting.
today, back in the day, Bonnie, 27 years ago in 1993, country legend Conway Twitty passed away at the age of 59 years old. 59 years old.
What year did Conway pass away at?
1993.
That long ago already,
Yes,
huh? I didn't know
1993.
it was that long ago.
Yep.
Huh.
16 years ago in 2004, the 40th president of the United States, Ronald Reagan, passed away from pneumonia after a 10-year battle with Alzheimer's. He was 93 years old. 93.
Long, nice life of Ronald
Yeah,
Reagan, all the way up
93.
to 93.
Yep, 93 years old
Yep.
today. Celebrating birthdays over the weekend. We have Uncle Cracker, going to be 46 years old today. Tony Araya, 59. That's the Slayer singer. I'm sure you've heard of the band Slayer, Bonnie. You're a metalhead. You like metal stuff like that, right?
Yeah, and oh, by the way, speaking of metal, the Rat song "Round and Round,"
Yeah.
because of the Geico commercial
Right.
that it's featured in,
Right.
they charted this week.
Did they really?
The round
Get
and,
out of here.
Yeah, the Round and Round song it
Really?
charted like at number 18 on the music charts because
Wow.
of that Geico commercial where the couple, they say, well, we have a rat problem. And then the band Rat playing in their kitchen.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
It's a cool commercial. And yeah, it's insane. So they recharted and what did that song come out in like the mid 80s?
Yeah, something like that. I remember
Yeah.
that one. And lastly, celebrating a birthday on Sunday, the purple one himself. You know who that is, Bonnie? As soon as I say that, the colors should give it away.
Prince would have
Yes.
celebrated
Prince
today,
is
or
celebrating a
Sunday?
birthday on Sunday.
He-
Prince would have been, let me see, he was born in 58, 68, 78, 88, 98, 08, 18, 1920. He would have been 62 years old.
He would have been, right?
62 on Sunday. Some of his hits: Purple Rain, Let's Go Crazy, When Doves Cry, I Would Die for You, 1999, Raspberry Beret, Little Red Corvette, Kiss, You Got the Look, Diamonds and Pearls, Cream, Get Off, Nothing's Compared to You, I Want to Be Your Lover. The list goes on and on and on and on. My favorite song, though, of all time,
what is
Purple Rain. Love that song.
Yeah.
The guitar solo, unbelievable.
Maybe I'll look up that movie too this weekend, but I don't know if I want to put Gary through that. It's kind of like, he'll probably think it's like a chick flick, but I might want to watch it again.
Well, if you get a chance, though, go on YouTube and search for the Super Bowl halftime performance by Prince.
Oh, I know.
Unbelievable. Second to none. 7:21 right now. It's news time. Let's go to the news desk, where Bonnie is standing by with the headlines this morning. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. A Fort Pierce police officer turned himself in Thursday night at the St. Lucie County Jail. WPTV's Kelly Dunn has the details.
Police officer tonight turned himself into the St. Lucie County Jail. Officer Albert Eckroad is charged with felony battery, official misconduct, and falsely reporting the commission of a crime. Multiple sources tell us this incident happened back in February at Lawnwood Regional Medical Center. Lawnwood confirms there is hospital video of the incident, but investigators have not yet released that to the media. We have also confirmed at least one additional officer is being investigated. Eckroad has been on paid administrative leave since February.
Vero Beach officers and members of the community came together Thursday night to hold a unity event on the front steps of the police department. This was the second rally held in the city Thursday, calling for change and an end to police brutality following the death of George Floyd last week in Minnesota. WPTV's Treasure Coast reporter Derek Lowe reports from another unity event in Vero Beach.
Police say they fully supported the event here today in Vero Beach, but they wanted to take it a step further. They hosted their own event on the front steps here of the Vero Beach Police Department so that officers could build relationships and hear directly from citizens. Just hours ago, though, several people marched downtown by the businesses, spreading carrying signs and chanting in unison that they want justice for George Floyd. This coming only a day after learning charges have been upgraded for the officer accused of putting his knee on George Floyd's neck, and charges were filed against 3 other officers accused of standing by and not intervening. It makes these protesters feel as if peaceful protests like the one here today and those nationwide are working to give them a sense of justice.
Maybe has opened up some of the eyes of the people in that legal system to really see that there is a big problem and they really need to address it.
Powerful. I love it. For little town Vero Beach, this is what it needs.
The protesters and police also did take a knee together in the middle of the march for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, reflecting on George Floyd and taking a moment of silence. Now, back out here live, you can see things here at the police department are just wrapping up, though. Several people on those front steps of the police department building those relationships with the officers. We'll have a full recap on that tonight at 11, though. Reporting in Vero Beach, I'm Derek Lowe, WPTV News Channel 5.
Just as phase 2 of Florida's reopening is getting underway, the state is dealing with a large rise in coronavirus cases. The Department of Health announcing over 1,400 new cases, which is the most ever reported in a single day. Brace yourself for some bad news as the May jobs report is released later this morning.
May unemployment rate is expected to get close to 20%. Estimates are all over the place, and part of that is just because it's such a dynamic situation. It's obviously unprecedented.
Bank rates Mark Hamrick says Florida is under a dark economic cloud because it relies so heavily on leisure and travel, which came to an abrupt halt in March. Lastly, Harry Potter fans and roller coaster lovers are streaming back into Universal Orlando this week. Universal Orlando reopened to pass holders Wednesday and Thursday, and it will allow the general public back on Friday. The reopening marks one of the first major steps toward reviving Florida's theme park industry after parks were closed in March to stop the spread of the new coronavirus. Texas football players marched with Coach Tom Herman from the Longhorns and members of the Austin Police Department to the state capitol building yesterday afternoon, joining the national protests against racism after the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis. Other Longhorn coaches joined Herman and his wife and players as they walked from the north end zone of Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium to the Capitol grounds about a mile away. Players, coaches, and police knelt together for 9 minutes, about the same amount of time Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin kept his knee on Floyd's neck on May 25. Our news time is 7:26. Weather and traffic together are next.
$7:27 the time right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
No accidents. Just look for the flooded streets in Martin County, and some of them include Southeast Carmelia Drive, Southeast Dixie Highway and Heritage Boulevard, also Linda Drive and Southeast Mulberry Drive being flooded, Parkway Drive and Southeast Dove Street, and in Martin County, Sea Branch Boulevard and Southeast Federal Highway, some flooded areas. There's your latest look at traffic. Stuart, right now we have a 74. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
Here on the Treasure Coast, partly to mostly cloudy with isolated rainfall possible. Then this afternoon, scattered to numerous showers and a few thunderstorms. Some rainfall will be heavy and more localized flooding is possible. Flood watches remain in effect for our entire area today. High temperatures in the low to mid 80s, mostly cloudy skies and light winds out of the southeast. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now let's get back to the program with Evan and Bonnie.
3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA, go SpaceX, Godspeed, Spot a Dog.
Everything's a mess in the year 2020. I hope that Elon Musk has a place where we can go. I wanna take a ride to the stars and beyond. I need to get off of this planet, so get me a ticket to the space station. Earth is a place that I don't recognize. Put me on a rocket, launch me in the sky. I'll say my goodbye to my family and friends. I'll take my chances out there with aliens. I want SpaceX.
America has won.
I've had enough.
A new generation continuing the dream.
I want SpaceX.
Thanks for flying the Falcon 9 today. Wish you a great mission.
I want SpaceX. Come on!
You know, I was watching on TV. They interviewed the astronauts. They said those spacesuits were very comfortable, and the ride up on that new space capsule is very, very luxurious compared to the shuttle.
Yeah, I bet it would be like one of the most luxurious rides that you would ever have. And certainly, yes, the astronauts would have to be comfortable. I mean, it looked to me like to be one of the astronauts, you have to have a lot of patience to be sitting there for hours even before liftoff.
It's only a 19-hour ride. It's like it's kind of like flying from here transatlantic going halfway around the world. That's really it's pretty much just what it's like, Bonnie.
To me, it's a lot because I think the farthest I've ridden, even in an airplane, of course, like I've never been in a spaceship, of course, at least, but in an airplane, I think the longest trip I traveled was maybe 5 or 6 hours.
Wow, that's a pretty long time.
And now it's time for Stupid News,
It's so stupid and awesome.
where we ask the important questions.
Are some people too stupid to live?
Why are people so stupid?
Are you effing stupid?
Well, here we go. We scour the globe for the Friday edition of Stupid News, and boy, do we have more so now than ever. With all the stupidness going on in the world, we've got a lot of stupid stuff.
But, we should have maybe less stupid news to report because, like, with the phases reopening and a lot of people are getting back to work, and shouldn't they have more things to do than being stupid?
No, they're being stupid. Like in Haywood County, where deputies are investigating after 2 law enforcement vehicles ended up in the lake. Deputies said,
yikes,
a lake security officer responded to a domestic call at a boat ramp this past Tuesday morning. When the officer arrived, a woman involved with the situation jumped into the security officer's vehicle and took off. Yep, just took off. Pursuit followed, first up Highway 19 towards Waynesville, then back toward the lake and on to South Lakeshore Drive. According to deputies that were on the scene, yes, the driving was erratic by the suspect, putting other lives into jeopardy. Haynes said that the deputy intentionally pushed the suspect into the water and away from an area frequented by pedestrians.
Oh, well, that's a good thing that it was away from people then.
Yeah, then his patrol car also ended up in the water too.
Did they get out of it safely?
Suspect taken into custody,
Oh,
and everybody was safe.
yeah. I couldn't even imagine my my vehicle driving into any kind of water.
Yep.
I don't know if I would hit that panic button, or I would be able to just take a deep breath and roll that window down and swim out.
A woman named Emily Canelos Sims from Kewanee, Illinois, has had an overdue library book fine. Bonnie?
Oh, what's her fine? Like, how long overdue?
She returned a poetry book called Days and Deeds. Her mother checked out back in April of 1955.
1955?
1955.
I thought you were at least going to go to the 80s. Wow, you're going like way back.
The total fine? $345.14.
Oh, they can afford that.
Yeah. How do you know they can afford that?
Well,
how do you know that?
Well,
how do you know their financial situation?
I don't. I guess
Okay.
but I'm surprised. Yeah, I thought the fine would be some more,
I'm going to have to look her up on Facebook and see if I can get in contact with her and maybe have her on the program.
When was the last time you got a library fine?
I've never had one.
Yeah.
I've never checked a book out of the library.
You never have?
No, never have. Never a day in my life.
Even when
never
you were
had a library card.
like in high school, didn't
Nope.
you have to check out
Nope.
any books for research or
Nope. Nothing.
that amazes me.
I had what was called the encyclopedia
Yeah.
back in the day. I had World Book Encyclopedia.
You had all of that at home. Your parents probably had that
off-white.
for
It
you.
was cream colored and green, and it had the gold trimmed pages.
But I mean,
Cost
even
an awful lot of money.
even as a high schooler, you didn't hang out at all in the
Nope.
library, have
Nope.
that your study period,
Nope.
and take out like a book.
Nope, nothing,
That's weird.
nothing.
That's just too hard to believe.
See, they don't fine you in high school when you check out a book and return it late. You either return it or you don't graduate.
Yeah, I guess that is true. You know, I get magazines from the local library here.
Do you?
Yeah.
You check them out?
I check them out and sometimes I bring them back late, but they never find me on the magazines.
Okay.
I'm kind of surprised of
All
that.
right. Very good. Let's go to West Virginia, where a woman and her husband faked her disappearance by pretending that she plummeted from an overlooked bank as part of a scheme to keep her out of having to go to prison. Julie Wheeler and Rodney Wheeler were arrested this past Tuesday on multiple charges, including conspiracy and giving false information to West Virginia State Police. State Police said that Julie Wheeler was reported missing Sunday by her husband and 17-year-old kid. The family claimed Julie Wheeler had fallen from the main overlook at the New River Gorge National River. Authorities searched for Julie Wheeler for days, but finally found her Tuesday alive and well, hiding in a closet in her home because she didn't want to go to jail.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the husband and the 17-year-old kid were in the conspiracy with it too.
Yep, you got it. So they got arrested also.
They found her at a river gorge, you said, or no, she said she fell off of a river gorge. What
Yeah.
state was that?
That was in Virginia.
Beautiful Virginia.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not so beautiful there.
Yeah, kind of a good ending though that they did find her in a closet and
Yeah.
really not at the bottom, dead at the bottom of a ravine.
Yeah, well, I guess they could say it's about time she came out of the closet.
Oh!
There's a 34-year-old guy named Christoph Hermansdorfer. Christoph Hermansdorfer. Christoph.
Where
Yes.
did I hear that name recently?
Probably when they
Might have been on Friends or something. Maybe I was
something
watching.
to do with down in Miami where they did the raps of the islands or whatever it was. I don't know.
You're right. I think I did hear from it down there.
Anyway, there's a guy named Christoph Hermansdorfer from Williamstown, Mass, where they parked the car in the Harvard yard. And on Tuesday, he was in a friend's car driving through Vermont. Well, apparently he had a large pickle in his hand. Okay, a large pickle in his hand.
While he parking the car, parking the car
No, he was driving down the road.
with a pickle.
Yes, with a pickle in his hand, large pickle, and he decided to throw it at a 59-year-old guy from the Vermont Agency of Transportation who was working on the side of the road. The large pickle hit the guy in the back, and according to the police report, quote, caused him a lot of pain. They've arrested Christoph, and he's facing misdemeanor assault charges. And the gentleman that he hit is now suing him for emotional distress.
Yeah.
All due to a pickle hitting him in the back.
Yeah.
How's that one?
How old is this Christoph?
34.
I mean, that's acting like you're a lot younger than 34
years old.
Isn't it time to grow up than to throw a pickle outside your window at somebody working on the side road?
Yep. Bonnie, how many times have you gone on vacation and lots of friends and family, they say to you, can I come in your suitcase? It's
Yeah.
a figure of speech, right?
I've done that before to people
Okay.
too. I think I might have said that to, I don't know, probably even the old man down the road.
Okay. Well, one man took it seriously and packed himself into his friend's suitcase.
Yikes.
Yeah. Firstly, this looks like a very uncomfortable position. Secondly, there's no way he would pass through security. And thirdly, he is lucky he didn't go to jail for what they attempted.
Wow.
I don't condone this, but they did try to pass him through TSA and get on and put the luggage through.
Put that through that little
Yeah.
surveyor thing,
Yeah.
that scanner thing.
Bingo.
What's
And guess
wrong?
what? The x-ray machine found him inside.
Maybe it was the buckle on his belt that he was wearing.
You cannot
Or
make this stuff
detected
up.
him.
I'm telling you right now, you cannot make this stuff up.
He must be like a stick man to get.
Don't know. It was
or-
a pretty big piece of luggage and it was on wheels.
I mean, yeah, that's crazy. Imagine somebody, fitting inside somebody's luggage.
Mhm.
I can't even fathom that.
Bonnie, I want you to pay attention to this next stupid news story because after I read this, you may want to try this. With public schools closed, lots of people are looking for new home options, but above ground pools aren't always the most attractive things to put in your yard. Now, you had an above ground pool, it broke, and you got rid of it. So here's your solution. The new trend is buying a large steel cattle trough and using it as a pool. A cattle trough as a pool.
A cattle trough.
A cattle trough. The trough works like above ground pools, plus they have sort of a rustic farmhouse look that works with some people's hipster design style. If you're interested, the cattle troughs cost anywhere from $300 to $600.
That's pretty cool, because now that I think
the
of
metal
it,
cattle trough.
those cattle troughs are pretty deep too, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
That's kind of a neat idea.
So now you're going to go home and have a conversation with Gary and say, Gary, I came up with a great idea. Let's get a cattle trough for our pool in the backyard. You don't have to worry about it breaking, falling apart, ripping, tearing, or anything.
Only we'll have
it's
to
all metal.
Like build a barn or a silo to go with it.
You don't need why would you need a silo to go with a cattle trough?
Because it sounds like if you lost it's a cat, and we might as well make the whole backyard like a whole kind of theme.
Get a couple of chickens and roosters and you'll be all set.
Yeah, we'll be jumping out of the silo into the cattle trough,
there you go.
Our pool, our swimming pool.
There you go. Let's go down to Miami, where a plastic surgeon in Miami is now offering toxin injections out of his home garage.
It's
a drive-through service. You drive in, you get injected, and you drive out without ever leaving the car. It's kind of like COVID testing. It takes 5 minutes, and it costs around $600.
It makes you wonder how he's getting away with this, because like the tattoo artists and tattoo parlors, they can't be open down there.
Exactly.
And how is this guy getting away with giving Botox injections to people in his garage?
I don't know.
It doesn't sound very safe.
Let's go to Camden County, Georgia, where the deputies had an interesting call recently, unlike most other calls, for one adorable reason. Deputies in Camden County received a call mid-May about a man carrying a knife while walking down the interstate.
Oh.
Now, things quickly changed when Corporal Sullivan and his partner, Canine Trogger, arrived. Okay? Our knife-yielding friend didn't respond to Corporal Sullivan and his demand to drop the knife until he noticed Canine Trogger, that is. He asked if Canine Trogger was with Corporal Sullivan, and Sullivan said he most certainly is. Everything now all of a sudden changed. The suspect asked if he could pet the canine officer, and Corporal Sullivan said, yes, under one condition, you drop the knife and you can pet my dog. So guess what? He dropped the knife. He petted the dog, and then he got a set of brand new silver shiny bracelets.
Oh, beautiful.
How's that one?
Yeah.
Right off to jail.
How about them apples?
How is that beautiful? How is that beautiful?
You caught me at the beautiful shiny bracelets.
Did I?
But then I forgot they were jail bracelets.
That's right. They're handcuffs. They're handcuffs.
But you made it sound so pretty.
Well, I had to.
With the beautiful shiny bracelets.
I had to. And there's your stupid news.
I think if I got arrested, that would make it better for me if the officer said, here, Bonnie, I'm going to just put these beautiful shiny bracelets on you.
Yeah, shiny bracelets. He gets a brand new set of shiny silver bracelets. Very, very interesting. I don't know what I would do if, I don't know, if I got a set of shiny bracelets. I guess I'd, I'd ask if they're real silver or not.
Oh, you'd have to call Rachel right away.
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah.
Have to. My attorney and everybody else.
Yeah.
Where are we at here? Oh, I know where we're at. It's news time, 7:45. Let's go to the news desk. Where Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Well, phase 2, Evan, today of, a lot of businesses reopening, and bowlers, of course, are being separated using the social distancing guidelines at the Stewart Bowl. And those staples of going bowling have gone touchless, as Stewart Bowl and Vero Beach during the coronavirus pandemic, said Michael Rector, managing partner of both bowling alleys. Safety is the key here, Rector said. It's really the perception of safety. We want people to feel safe. Now employees at the check-in desk take your name, measure your hand, and retrieve the bowling ball, leaving racks empty. You're walking away from the counter with one ball, Rector said. That ball is completely sanitized, and that's your ball. That's the only ball you're going to touch. These are just some of the changes bowlers will see as a result of COVID-19 as most bowling alleys reopen. Evan.
Sorry, I just can't keep a straight face in that story. I apologize, Bonnie. I'm sorry.
You're fine, but
You read the story.
They are touching sanitized balls, so we have to make it very clear. Yeah, the bowling alley is reopening. The only one that's not reopened yet is St. Lucie Lanes in Port St. Lucie. But that's that one. Yeah. On a serious note, you might want to go bowling this weekend. I would want to go. On a serious note, too, a Fort Pierce police officer turned himself in on Thursday night as the St. Lucie County Jail. At the St. Lucie County Jail, and WPTV's Kelly Dunn has the details.
Police officer tonight turned himself into the St. Lucie County Jail. Officer Albert Eckroad is charged with felony battery, official misconduct, and falsely reporting the commission of a crime. Multiple sources tell us this incident happened back in February at Lawnwood Regional Medical Center. Lawnwood confirms there is hospital video of the incident, but investigators have not yet released that to the media. We have also confirmed at least one additional officer is being investigated. Eckroad has been on paid administrative leave since February.
Florida businesses are readying for phase 2 Friday. That's today, but not long-term care centers. Visitations are still on hold at assisted living and nursing facilities, which house those most vulnerable to COVID-19. WPTV's Forrest Saunders takes a look at how much longer frustrated families might wait to be reunited.
For nearly 3 months, Fran Jester has been unable to see her mother-in-law, Wilma Jester, who lives with Alzheimer's in a North Florida nursing home.
She's used to me coming and us going out and going, out to dinner or whatever. Well, at this point, we can't do any of that.
Weekly visits down to 0 until the state's moratorium lifts. Fran is concerned the longer she waits, the less Wilma will be the woman she remembers.
Sometimes I'm not sure she knows who I am already, so I'm worried by the time I get back in there, she's definitely not going to know who I am.
Federal guidance asks states wait until at least phase 3 for visitations, but Florida's Healthcare Association wants action sooner rather than later.
It's concerning. Is this doing more harm than good? Residents, are feeling very isolated.
Kristen Knapp says her group, which represents hundreds of the state's facilities, created a task force looking at the issue. It found places clear of the virus for 28 days and with enough PPE should be allowed to resume visits with the state's approval.
Nursing homes, this is their home. So these residents want to get back to normal.
The association saying visitors should be limited to 2 per resident. They'd need to pass screening and wear masks. The group also suggesting visits happen outdoors or in open spaces. Regular testing to ensure the virus isn't present likely key to loosening rules. But at the moment, the state is struggling to finish its first round of tests for employees alone. The governor's staff saying despite the association's concern, visit restrictions will remain until further notice.
We're not going to jump from phase 1 to phase 3.
Begrudgingly, Fran says she gets it. Though she wants to visit Wilma as soon as possible, safety supersedes socializing.
You're just going to have to be patient.
At the Capitol, Forrest Saunders, WPTV News Channel 5.
Lastly, the Florida Department of Health in St. Lucie County has issued a swimming advisory for the River Park Marina, North Fork of the St. Lucie River. This advisory comes after water samples results showed higher than normal levels of enteric bacteria. According to a news release, there are potential health risks for those who ingest or come in contact to the water. Symptoms including upset stomach, diarrhea, eye irritation, and skin rashes. The department said swimming is not recommended due to the increased risk of illness at this time. Drew Brees has apologized for hurting people with his flag comments earlier this week. He didn't flip his position on the national anthem protests, but he did say that his comments, quote, were insensitive, completely missed the mark, and lacked awareness, compassion, and empathy. He said, quote, an attempt to talk about respect, unity, and solidarity centered around the American flag and the national anthem. I made comments that were insensitive, completely missing the mark on the issues we are facing right now as a country, Drew said he stands with the Black community in the fight against systemic racial injustice and police brutality and supports the creation of real policy change. And he said that he's sick about the way his comments were perceived. It's worth pointing out that Drew didn't flip his position. He's just sorry he was misunderstood. News Time 7:50, weather and traffic together are next.
$7:52, the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
On this Friday morning, it's really quiet. We don't have any accidents, slowdowns to report on the major highways, just to avoid some flooding areas in the Martin County area, like, for instance, Southeast Pelican Way might be flooded, Orange Blossom Trail and Southeast Sweet Bay Drive, Dixie Highway and Southeast Heritage Boulevard, James Street and Southeast Parkway Drive 2 in Stewart. There's your latest look at traffic. 76 in Stewart. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, partly to mostly cloudy with isolated rainfall possible. Then this afternoon, scattered to numerous showers and a few thunderstorms. Some rainfall will be heavy and more localized flooding is possible. Flood watches remain in effect for our entire area today. High temperatures in the low to mid 80s, mostly cloudy skies and light winds out of the southeast. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
The Get Up and Go Show would love to hear from you live on the air. Give us a call at any time. Now let's get back to the program. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
7:56 a time on the Get Up and Go Show. And Bonnie, by the way, if you've noticed, the band is not here today. Fredo and the Shy Guys gave them the day off. So they can enjoy a little bit of a long weekend. They'll be back sometime next week with us.
Yeah, but they sure do add some color, to the radio show in the middle of the week, which is always good.
Hey, did you know 71% of animal owners share a bed with their pets? How about that one?
What percentage is it? I'm sorry.
71% of animal owners share a bed with their pets.
I believe it because the people that have animals, those pets really get to be quite like their children.
Definitely so. Did you also know, according to a recent survey, 41% of parents wish summer break was longer? They wish the break was longer, but I bet this year they're not wishing it was longer.
Because they've had like a really long one.
Yeah, an extended summer break. Did you know that Twister was originally called Pretzel and was first introduced as a beach game?
That makes a lot of sense.
How about that one?
Pretzel, because
pretzel.
I remember playing it. Your body kind of twists around there, kind of like a pretzel.
Yep, exactly. Did you know people are really good at figuring out strangers' names based on their faces? Studies show that when given a random face and a list of names to choose from, people guess the right name more often than when left to chance.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting concept.
That's an interesting stat, very much so. Did you also know that families that have fish as pets are 3 times as likely to suffer from allergies? Do you have a fish?
I don't.
Okay.
But I wouldn't mind having a little aquarium because I heard yesterday that fishy water in your aquarium is good to water your plants with.
Not sure. I'll have to look into that. Did you know, according to a recent study, almost 1 out of every 4 calories we consume come from drinks? 1 out of every 4 calories come from drinks.
I know. That's why you got to really watch what that drink is going to be with your meal. I really watched that lately, and usually it's Crystal Light or lemon water.
Yeah. Did you also know that 22% of single women say that the mall is the best place to meet somebody?
Ah.
The mall, best place to meet somebody. Now, here's something, and I'll divulge this. Way back in the day, I was on the Sally Jesse Raphael show.
Yeah.
My ex-wife accused me of going to the mall and flirting with the Easter Bunny.
With the Easter
Bunny?
Bunny.
The Easter Bunny. Right. Flirting with the Easter Bunny. So the topic of the show was men who flirt in the workplace have to do with flirting in the workplace. I was a DJ. I still am a DJ. So I was accused that I would go to the mall and use my kids as a pawn to flirt with women and flirt in the workplace. And they said that I was trying to hit on the Easter Bunny. So I was on the Sally Jesse Raphael show for that.
Didn't Chevy Chase do that in Christmas Vacation or something? I know he was flirting with the lady at the counter at the mall. Maybe that's where your ex-wife got that from.
Yeah, I don't know. We got to step back. We're WSTU Stewart. We're Martin County's Heritage Station. It's 8 a.m. The news is up next.
the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go show. And now here's your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
We can still be friends. So forget coronavirus. Our friendship might just end. If you don't catch this virus, you will get to live. But try and take it easy. You're probably not at risk. Got a message on WhatsApp? Yo, it's probably not real. Please use some common sense. It's not the end of the world. Now don't go crazy and don't get too stressed. Cause anything can kill you if you give it a chance. Yo, what's coming from Wuhan that you really don't want? So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna really not die from coronavirus. If we survive this virus, then we can
808 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. And if you survive this virus is what the song says. And a lot of people have, a lot of people haven't. But I do know one thing, Bonnie, we have not called the social distancing hotline in a while. So before we get to our game, let me just call the social distancing hotline and see what's up.
Thanks for calling the Social Distancing Helpline. To order booze because your kids are driving you crazy and mommy needs a little helper, press 1. If you're going through NBA, NHL, or March Madness withdrawal, press 2. To find out how to clean your bottom without using toilet paper, press 3. For all other problems, go read a book, start a new hobby, or figure it out like the rest of us. And please keep away from me. Did you wash your hands again? Thanks for calling the Social Distancing Helpline. Goodbye.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Which one would you press? 1, 2, or 3?
Well, I'm wondering how many people have started new hobbies because of this.
I don't know.
That could be like a positive thing if people took up something new and found up something fun to do that they didn't do before.
Exactly. Joining us on the line right now is the first off is the old man down the road. He is calling us from his Winnebago camper as they are driving down the mountainside. Good morning, old man. How are you?
Good morning. Yeah. How's it going, guys?
All right, you're going to have to speak up a little bit louder for me, old man, if you would, please.
I said, good morning. How are you guys?
We're doing pretty good. And, of course, my lovely wife is on the line as well, Rachel. Good morning, honey.
Good morning.
She's there. And, of course, I couldn't have picked two better people that would be on the phone right now to play one of our favorite games, actually two of our favorite games. The first one is called Yes or BS. Yes or BS. I'm going to read a statement, and you're going to have a chance to tell me if it's yes or BS, and we'll tell you whether it's true or not, and you'll gain control of the question by answering correctly. If not, the next person has control, and they'll have an opportunity, and so on and so forth. So I figured, why not start with the wife today? Since the wife is not on the show all that much, we'll start with you, Rachel. Is that okay with you?
Okay.
All right. So comedian Steve Martin once said he wouldn't want to belong to any club that would give him, that would have him as a member. Said he wouldn't belong to any club that would have him as a member. Is that yes or BS? Which one?
Yes.
BS? And that is true. Correct. So Rachel has 1 point right off the bat. Rachel has control of the question, and we'll go to question number 2. The car chase scene from Steve McQueen's The Magnificent Seven is considered one of Hollywood's best. Yes or BS?
Yes.
And correct. Wow, Rachel's on a roll,
Yeah,
Bonnie.
she is she's on fire.
Old man, you still alive over there?
Yeah.
Oh, he's sleeping. He's sleeping. All right. All right. Rachel still has control. In Japan, Rachel, kabuki is a type of theater dance. Yes or BS?
Yes.
Correct.
Kabuki.
Wow. 3 for 3.
Never heard of that dance.
Man, she's on a roll. All right, here we go. Question number 4 for Rachel. Joe Namath once said, quote, all pro athletes are bilingual. They speak English and profanity. Yes or BS?
Yes.
Incorrect. All right, old man, you now have control. Here's your question, old man. The acronym for the World War II era predecessor of the CIA is OSS. Is that yes or BS, old man?
I think that's BS.
Incorrect. You can go back to sleep. Bonnie, here's your question. Other than pepper, mustard is the most commonly used spice. Yes or BS?
BS.
Incorrect.
Oh.
You're not doing too good. All right, back to Rachel. She has control again. She's got 3 points. Rachel, New York City was the capital of the United States until 1810. Yes or BS? You're a school teacher. You should know this.
Yes.
Incorrect.
Talk about putting her on the spot, Evan.
Well, what can I say?
I teach second grade.
Yeah. All right.
We don't cover that.
All right. Old man, you're in control. Are you there, old man?
Yeah, I'm eating some liver mush.
Oh, okay.
Liver what?
Liver mush.
Liver mush.
Rachel loves liver mush.
Oh, is that like liverwurst?
No, liver
No.
mush.
Oh.
It's really good. All right, old man, here we go. The second highest mountain in the world is K2, also known as Mount Godwin Austen.
Let's go for a whim. I'll say yes.
Correct. You have a point. Continue on, old man. The poinsettia plant is highly toxic, and eating the leaves will kill a person or a pet. Yes or BS?
Yes.
Incorrect.
Poinsettia?
Yeah, it's incorrect. Bonnie, you have control.
Wait, a poinsettia will is not good for an animal.
The poinsettia plant is highly toxic, and eating the leaves will kill a person or a pet, and it will not.
Oh, maybe it won't kill that
Right, it won't
person,
kill
but
them.
it could make the
Right.
person or pet ill.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Okay. All right, Bonnie, you have control. Last question. The infamous Black Plague ravaged Europe during the 15th century. Yes or BS?
Yes, it did. Oh.
Incorrect. It was the 14th century
Ah.
from 1346 to 1353. So Rachel is the winner of
Yeah.
Yes or BS.
Rachel.
Woohoo!
Woo!
How about that one?
Way to go.
And for that, Rachel gets dinner cooked tonight. Whatever you would like, let me know, and I'll try to remember to take it out of the freezer. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Would you like steak for dinner?
Sure.
See, that's her favorite.
Yeah.
She loves her steak.
You should get me some of those ribeyes that I cooked the other night.
We have ribeyes
Oh,
in
they
the
were
house.
they were on the fatty side, I'll admit, but they were good.
Were they really?
Yeah, they're a little bit more fatty than New York strip.
Wow.
A little bit.
Why were they on the fatty side?
I don't know,
You probably didn't get a good cut.
but
All right. Let's now we're going to play 5-second rule. It's real simple. You know how the game works. I'm going to name a topic, and you have to name 3 things that pertain to that topic. Okay? We're going to start with the old man down the road first today. So, old man, name 3 children's TV shows. Ready? Go. You couldn't even get one out. Didn't you ever watch Sesame Street when you were young?
Oh, Big Bird, yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't name a show. You're not doing too good. All right, Bonnie.
not really thinking very fast. I think he needs more sleep, Evan.
All right, Bonnie. Here we go. Name 3 California universities. Ready? Go.
Southern State, LA University, and UCLA.
Very good.
Or is UCLA the same as LA? I
No.
think it is.
You got it right.
But okay.
All right. Rachel, you should get this within 2 seconds. Name 3 punctuation marks. Ready? Go.
Question mark, period, exclamation mark.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Old man,
Okay.
name 3 luxury automobiles. Ready? Go.
Jaguar, Cadillac, and a limo.
Nice.
All right. Very good.
Right on. Spot
All right.
on.
Spot on.
Yeah.
All right, Bonnie. Name 3 war movies. 3 war movies. Ready? Go.
Hogan's Heroes, Platoon, and Independence Day.
Hogan's Heroes was not a movie.
Oh, that's right. It was a TV show, wasn't it?
TV show.
That's right.
Yes. All right, Rach. Here we go. Name 3 things a doctor does to you at the doctor office. Ready? Go.
I have a hunch Rachel doesn't even like going to the doctor.
No.
That kind of left her speechless.
She couldn't even get one. Wow. That's the first time I've ever left my wife speechless.
Do you get kind of queasy, Rachel, when you thinking about the doctor?
Well, no, I had to think for a minute because he didn't specify what kind of doctor. And my
That goes along with the bowling balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't very.
All right. Old man. Here we go, old man. Name 3 items you would find at Dracula's house. Ready? Go.
Darkness. Oh my goodness.
Time's up. Not good.
What can I
Old man,
say
you're
about
not doing
Dracula?
too good. You need to get your brain checked. All right, Bonnie. Bonnie. Here we go. Named 3 amusement park rides. Ready? Go.
Roller coaster, the salt and pepper shakers, and a Ferris wheel.
What the heck's a salt and pepper shaker?
The salt and pepper shakers are sometimes they're also called the bullet. You know, when they have two like planes. There's like one big axle,
Okay.
and then there's like a little helicopter on one end and a little helicopter on the other end.
Okay.
We used to call them salt and pepper shakers
All right.
or the bullet.
All right, one more
It
round.
might be a northern thing.
All right, one more round. Rachel's going to go first. Name. She'll get this one in a heartbeat. I give her 2 seconds, and she'll get all 3. Name 3 brands of purses. Ready? Go.
Louis Vuitton, Coach, Dooney and Burke.
See, I told you.
Yeah.
Right?
She probably has all 3 of
She
them.
does.
Yeah.
I do not.
Oh wait, she used to
No?
though.
Oh, see, Evan, you better get out the pocketbook and
Used to.
buy her some more.
Used to. We got rid of a lot of them just
Huh.
because they were collecting dust.
Wow.
All right. Old man,
Yeah.
name 3 human organs. 3 human organs. Ready? Go.
Lungs, heart, liver.
Correct.
Yeah.
He actually got one right.
Really? Are all
I
of
got
your
2 right.
workings are all of your organs working well, old man? I'm hoping.
Oh, yeah.
All in-
Especially drinking moonshine.
Full operation.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Bonnie, you're the last one. I pulled that one away because it wasn't good.
Oh.
All right, this one you should get pretty good, Bonnie. I know
Okay.
my wife would know this
Was
one
the
too.
prior one hard or something?
Yes, it was very
You
hard.
can give me a hard
No,
one.
it was very hard. You wouldn't even get one.
I'm ready for a challenge.
No,
Let's try.
No, I didn't want to do that
No?
one.
I-
No, I was
okay.
trying to be nice.
No, you got
It's
me.
Friday.
You piqued my interest.
I know it's Friday.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Name 3 coffee flavors. 3 coffee flavors. Ready? Go.
Chocolate, vanilla, and French vanilla.
Very good.
Is vanilla a coffee flavor?
Yes,
though?
it most certainly is, especially when you put a quart of French vanilla creamer in like my wife does with her coffee.
I bet you Rachel knows that one.
That's right.
You know, that was kind of a hard one for me because I don't drink my coffee in flavors. I only drink it black.
Yeah.
And even having the Keurig, I haven't been buying the K-Cup flavors like I probably
Rachel's a
should
coffee
be.
kind of girl,
Yeah?
but she has a little coffee with her cream.
Just like I know Rachel has a little bit of, is it potato with her sour cream like I do?
Yes, exactly. Yes, you hit that nail right on the head, right,
Yeah.
Rachel?
Yeah.
Oh, she's
But
quiet.
I eat sour cream though with my steak too.
Yeah,
I like it with my steak also. Isn't
Yeah.
that funny?
yeah. Tonight we're going to. I'll take some steaks out for dinner.
You know what
Anyway.
else I like with steak is yum yum sauce.
Oh yeah, we have yum yum
Yeah.
sauce in the house. But the latest kick now, though, in the house in the 9 household, is the Chick-fil-A sauce.
Oh yeah, that's
Yes,
good too.
that has taken over the yum yum sauce.
Yep.
Yes,
And
Chick-fil-A sauce is
Polynesian-
is really good.
Oh yeah.
That's really good. 8:21 right now. Hey guys, have a great day. Rachel, love you, and I'll talk to you later. Old man down the road.
Love you.
Give Edna a big hug for me, and drive that Winnebago very safely.
Talk to you later, guys.
All right, say goodnight,
Bye,
kids.
guys.
Bye-bye. What time is it? I lost track of time. I almost said it was 1:03. It's 8:21. I don't know what I was looking at. 8:21 right now. It's news time. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning. A Fort Pierce police officer turned himself in last night at the St. Lucie County Jail. WPTV's Kelly Dunn has the details.
Police officer tonight turned himself into the St. Lucie County Jail. Officer Albert Eckroad is charged with felony battery, official misconduct, and falsely reporting the commission of a crime. Multiple sources tell us this incident happened back in February at Lawnwood Regional Medical Center. Lawnwood confirms there is hospital video of the incident, but investigators have not yet released that to the media. We have also confirmed at least one additional officer is being investigated. Eckroad has been on paid administrative leave since February.
Vero Beach officers and members of the community came together last night to hold a unity event on the front steps of the police department. This was the second rally held in the city Thursday, calling for change and an end to police brutality following the death of George Floyd last week in Minnesota. WPTV's Treasure Coast reporter Derek Lowe reports from another unity event in Vero Beach.
Police say they fully supported the event here today in Vero Beach, but they wanted to take it a step further. They hosted their own event on the front steps here of the Vero Beach Police Department so that officers could build relationships and hear directly from citizens. Just hours ago, though, several people marched downtown by the businesses, spreading carrying signs and chanting in unison that they want justice for George Floyd. This coming only a day after learning charges have been upgraded for the officer accused of putting his knee on George Floyd's neck, and charges were filed against 3 other officers accused of standing by and not intervening. It makes these protesters feel as if peaceful protests like the one here today and those nationwide are working to give them a sense of justice.
Maybe has opened up some of the eyes of the people in that legal system to really see that there is a big problem and they really need to address it.
Powerful. I love it. For little town Vero Beach, this is what it needs.
The protesters and police also did take a knee together in the middle of the march for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, reflecting on George Floyd and taking a moment of silence. Now, back out here live, you can see things here at the police department are just wrapping up, though. Several people on those front steps of the police department building those relationships with the officers. We'll have a full recap on that tonight at 11, though. Reporting in Vero Beach, I'm Derek Lowe, WPTV News Channel 5.
Lastly, a Port St. Lucie man accused of attacking and robbing an 80-year-old man in his home was arrested Thursday after he saw surveillance photographs of himself on social media and drove himself to jail in the victim's stolen Jeep, police said. James Simpson, age 40, faces multiple charges, including attempted murder, aggravated battery on a person 65 or older. Port St. Lucie Police Sergeant Lisa Marie Carrasquillo said a neighbor found the victim lying on the floor of his home Tuesday and called 911. The elderly man had been attacked by an intruder who stole the victim's Jeep Wrangler and credit cards. Carrasquillo said Simpson told police he decided to drive himself to the jail in the victim's stolen Jeep after he saw himself on the news and social media. Delray Beach's own rising tennis superstar, Coco Gauff, is demanding more change to ease racial tension after the death of George Floyd. The 16-year-old addressed protesters Wednesday night with a passionate call to action during a peaceful demonstration in Delray Beach Wednesday evening. News time is 8:25. Weather and traffic together are next.
8:27 the time right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
No traffic accidents. Just look out for those high water areas in the Stewart area, such as Orange Blossom Trail and Southeast Sweet Bay Drive, also Pelican Way, Southeast Dixie Highway and Southeast Heritage Boulevard, and James Street and Southeast Parkway Drive. And look for the flooded areas. Keep in mind those flood washes are in effect throughout the weekend till like Sunday night at 6 p.m. Drive safely, use caution. There's your latest look at traffic. It's 76 in Stewart, 74 in Port St. Lucie. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, partly to mostly cloudy with isolated rainfall possible. Then this afternoon, scattered to numerous showers and a few thunderstorms. Some rainfall will be heavy and more localized flooding is possible. Flood watches remain in effect for our entire area today. High temperatures in the low to mid 80s, mostly cloudy skies and light winds out of the southeast. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
8:31 right now is the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for a look at space and what's happening in another place with Randy Siegel and our daily dose of the Space Report. Randy, good morning.
Good morning, sir. You talk about out in space. Absolutely. Today, in space, we go back to 1989. That was when NASA's Voyager 2 spacecraft passed Uranus and gave us a great observation of that planet, and Neptune as well. So we saw a lot of space work being done by that. In 1991, the space shuttle STS-40 took flight carrying a group of astronauts, 7 of them to be exact, in their Space Lab Life Science experiment. That's where they had a Life Science Space Hab in the cargo bay, and they used it. It was also the first flight that included 3 women on that mission. In 2011, STS-111 flew. STS-111 was another case where they used the mobile servicing system from the space shuttle to service a satellite that was in orbit. Once again, a good way to work when they were able to do so. That was STS-111. It carried a very interesting crew because not only did it have Americans on this crew, but it had one European Space Agency astronaut, Felipe Perrin. It had Franklin Chang Diaz, who had dual citizenship with the United States and Belgium. And then you had Russians, Valery Karzov, Peggy Whitson, and Sergei Treshkov. When they got to the space station, they did a lot of work on board, and 3 astronauts that had been working on board came home in that space shuttle. It was also a very tragic ending to a 22-day mission by the Russians. This happened when the Russians' spacecraft came back down to Earth. It was the first and only crew to board the Salyut 1 space station, and the 3 cosmonauts, everything seemed to be well during the mission, but when they landed, they were all dead. This is only the first time that we know that astronauts had died in space. Gregory Dubrovsky, Vladislav Volkov, and Viktor Patsiev were on board as they were landing. A plug that was not supposed to open until they were lower in the atmosphere came out. And as a result, it sucked out all the air from the vehicle. The vehicle made a pitch-perfect landing, but when ground crews got to the spacecraft, the astronauts had already passed. Not a good thing to have for Russia. In 1983, Venera 16 was launched. That was Russia's attempt again to get to the Venetian atmosphere, and their spacecraft did send signals from the surface. 2018, we had the launch of the Soyuz MS-09. This spacecraft carried 3 astronauts. It carried Sergei Prokopyev, Alexander Gersh from the European Space Agency, and Serena Unan-Chandler, making her first flight. She will be going back to the space station within the year, so she's still an active astronaut. In 1992, the Extreme Ultraviolet Explorer was placed into space. It was a space telescope for ultraviolet astronomy that sent back a lot of great data. And lastly, on Sunday was the anniversary in 2011 of the Soyuz TMA-02 spacecraft. It sent 3 astronauts to the International Space Station, and they were all from different countries. Sergei Volkov from Russia, Michael Fossum from the United States, and Sachi Furukawa from the Japanese Space Agency. The astronauts on board the International Space Station are continuing to do good work in space. Chris Cassidy, the commander, worked on electrostatic furnace levitation. This is where they use high heat temperatures, and they measure the thermophysical properties. The unique furnace may provide scientists insights into synthesizing and producing new materials. He then went on in the afternoon to work on the U.S. spacesuits for a series of spacewalks later this month, where they change out batteries on the International Space Station. The new crew members, Doug Hurley and Bob Benkin, continued servicing hardware and exploring bubbles in fluids. The astronauts temporarily disassembled a plant habitat to access and replace environmental control system gear. The duo also studied how bubbles affect microfluids to help provide oxygen on a spacecraft and deliver drugs through skin patches. The two Russians, Anatoly Ivanushin and Ivan Wagner, worked throughout the orbital lab on research and maintenance operations. Ivanushin was inside the U.S. Destiny laboratory, swapping out fuel bottles inside the combustion integration rack to ensure safe fuel and fluid science. He also worked on the cargo vessel Progress 74, unpacking it. Wagner inspected surfaces inside the Russian portion of the space station and later on set up video cameras to record crew activity for audiences back on Earth. Back on Earth, there was a commercial that was put together by President Trump that included a space theme and included showing pictures of astronauts. Well, that didn't go over well with the astronaut, especially Karen Nyberg. She said that she found it disturbing that a video image of her and her son was being used for political propaganda without her knowledge or consent. And she said that it was wrong. Well, apparently there were many more who agreed with that. And since then, that commercial has been taken down and will no longer be shown as part of a campaign. Also, the fact that NASA is non-political, they had to be sure that it did not create any problems in that venue. The first 3 tourists that will fly to the International Space Station have been selected, and they will be announced in about a month. Axon Space, who is getting ready to fly a module to the International Space Station, says that they are going to fly crew members to the station scheduled in October of 2021. They will do work on board the station while they're there, but they'll be there for a separate company and not strictly NASA. Instead of launching the MLM module to the International Space Station, the new science lab, the Soyuz 21B vehicle has now been targeted for launching a Russian GLONASS satellite. Russia has fallen far behind in their abilities to send this spacecraft, the MLM, into orbit. So now they're using their rocket for it for other purposes. OSIRIS-REx, NASA's spacecraft that has been orbiting an asteroid, has spotted the area where it's going to touch down and pick up parts of that asteroid and return them to Earth. The areas that they were looking at is about a 820-foot reconnaissance area known as Osprey. And the hope is they will be able to bring back parts of that on October 20th. On Monday, we'll tell you about a new launch pad for the Vizhny Space Center and a space telescope that is way behind budget. So until then, have a great day, everybody.
That's your daily dose of space from the one and only Randy Siegel, where he's on the program each and every weekday at 8:30 to give us what's happening in NASA. Time to head on over to Ellie's Downtown Deli, where Bonnie is standing by with the latest and greatest food for thought this morning on a Friday. Take it away, Bonnie.
You know, your craving might be roast beef today.
Oh, you just hit a sore spot.
Uh-oh.
Oh, or actually a soft spot. As long as it's rare, I'm there.
Well, Evan, you're going to love this one. It's a roast beef Siciliano.
Oh.
Comes with packed with roast beef because Mark always makes his sandwiches super large. Provolone cheese in this. You got to get the horseradish sour cream in there. And caramelized onions.
Oh, it's so good.
Roasted red peppers and oregano pressed on an 8-inch hoagie. Yes, all of that flavor. And all sandwiches do come with a delicious side item, so treat yourself to some potato salad, some crispy cool coleslaw with it. Maybe make it some black and green olives today. Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stuart now has their patio back open, plus they are 50% dining inside with a full menu for pickup or delivery. Ellie's has full dinners available for takeout, plus their fabulous desserts as well. Call 772-781-6605 to order and pick up today. They're at 18 Southeast 6th Street, just off Colorado in Stuart. Call 772-781-6605. Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stuart.
Time for the Precious Metals Report, brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Gold is opening up at $1,691 an ounce, and silver at $17.41 an ounce. 8:43 right now is the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news. Let's go to the news desk. Take it away, Bonnie.
And Evan, a Port St. Lucie man accused of attacking and robbing an 80-year-old man in his home was arrested Thursday after he saw surveillance photographs of himself on social media and drove himself to jail in the victim's stolen Jeep, police said. James Simpson, age 40, faces multiple charges, including attempted murder, aggravated battery on a person 65 or older, according to Port St. Lucie Police Sergeant Lisa Marie Carrasquillo, said a neighbor found the victim lying on the floor of his home Tuesday and called 911 after a home invasion robbery. The elderly man had been attacked by an intruder who stole the victim's Jeep Wrangler and credit cards. Carrasquillo said Simpson told police he decided to drive himself to the jail in the victim's stolen Jeep after he saw himself on the news and social media. A Fort Pierce police officer turned himself in on Thursday night at the St. Lucie County Jail. WPTV's Kelly Dunn has the details.
A Fort Pierce police officer tonight turned himself into the St. Lucie County Jail. Officer Albert Eckroad is charged with felony battery, official misconduct, and falsely reporting the commission of a crime. Multiple sources tell us this incident happened back in February at Lawnwood Regional Medical Center. Lawnwood confirms there is hospital video of the incident, but investigators have not yet released that to the media. We have also confirmed at least one additional officer is being investigated. Eckroad has been on paid administrative leave since February.
Just as phase 2 of Florida's reopening is getting underway, the state is dealing with a large rise in coronavirus cases. The Department of Health announcing over 1,400 new cases, which is the most ever reported in a single day. Brace yourself for some bad news as the May jobs report is released later this morning.
May unemployment rate is expected to get close to 20%. Estimates are all over the place, and part of that is just because it's such a dynamic situation. It's obviously unprecedented.
Bank rates. Mark Hamrick says Florida is under a dark economic cloud because it relies so heavily on leisure and travel, which came to an abrupt halt in March. And lastly, the Florida Department of Health in St. Lucie County has issued a swimming advisory for the River Park Marina North Fork of the St. Lucie River. The advisory comes after water samples results showed higher than normal levels of enteric bacteria. According to a news release, there are potential health risks for those who ingest or come in contact with the water. The symptoms include upset stomach, diarrhea, eye irritation, and skin rashes. The department said swimming is not recommended due to the increased risk of illness at this time. Miami Dolphins head coach Brian Flores said Thursday that a good friend of his was killed while protesting after the death of George Floyd, which is why he has some fear about his players doing the same. He said, quote, "I want my players to be careful," he told the media during a Zoom video conference. His friend and former Indiana University football player Chris Beatty was shot and killed Saturday night amid violent protests in the city of Indianapolis. Beatty, age 38, was a defensive lineman for the Hoosiers from 2000 to 2003. News time is 8:47, and weather and traffic together are next.
$8:48 the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
If you have to be heading out this morning, the traffic's looking good on our major highways. They are clear north and southbound, and it's been a smooth ride this morning, too. US 1 is looking good throughout Martin and St. Lucie County. There's your latest look at traffic. Stuart, we have a partly sunny sky. It's 79. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, partly to mostly cloudy with isolated rainfall possible. Then this afternoon, scattered to numerous showers and a few thunderstorms. Some rainfall will be heavy and more localized flooding is possible. Flood watches remain in effect for our entire area today. High temperatures in the low to mid 80s, mostly cloudy skies and light winds out of the southeast. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
With
The Get Up and Go show would love to hear from you live on the air. Give us a call at any time. Now let's get back to the program. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
And we're back. I forgot. I can't use my computer right now because I'm connected to a priest and a rabbi. So we'll get all their banter and hear everything that's going on there. So I didn't want to allude to anything like that.
Yeah, they're coming up next with their Lively program.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show. They're always on every single Friday. Bonnie, I've got some stuff here. I wanted to get your thoughts on telling me if what you think these. I found some headlines around the internet, and I wanted to see if you thought they were truth or trash. So I'm going to read a headline to you, and you're going to tell me if it's truth or trash.
Okay.
Okay. The first one is next iPhone to actually microwave popcorn. Is that truth or trash?
Trash.
Trash is correct.
I know an iPhone can do numerous things, like magical things, but I don't think it can pop popcorn yet.
Right. Exactly. Here's another headline. People throwing away stimulus money payments. Truth or trash?
Truth.
Truth? Yep. Those getting payments with debit cards, if they have no bank accounts, say they look like junk mail, and they're accidentally tossing them in the garbage.
I'm sure that's happening more than you know.
Yeah.
And throwing them cards away by mistake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's another headline for you. Japan reopens theme parks, but says absolutely no screaming allowed.
We learned that was the truth this week.
Exactly.
And how can you go down a roller coaster without screaming, right?
Exactly.
How are they going to enforce that one?
Exactly. Here's a good one. California priest now baptizing with a water pistol. California priest now baptizing with a water pistol.
Say that one is trash, Evan.
It's truth.
Oh.
In a photo that's now going viral, an unnamed California priest is seen baptizing a baby, complete with the white baptismal gown with a water pistol while standing 6 feet away.
Little toy water pistol.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
How about that one?
Just squirting out some holy water at
Yeah.
them.
Yep, exactly. Woman gets raffle ticket as a gift and wins a Picasso.
Truth.
Exactly.
Yeah, imagine that Picasso, how that's worth like $1 million, maybe millions.
All right, here's
Can
the
you
last
imagine?
one. Cats quietly planning to overthrow the country.
Trash.
Correct.
Okay, I have one for you, Evan.
All right.
There is a strawberry moon out tonight.
Strawberry moon tonight. Where did you see that supposed headline?
In my usually kind of cool news that I have.
All right. So there's a strawberry moon tonight, and
There
I'm
is.
going to say that that's truth.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's in the U.S. Because Native American tribes used it as a signal to start gathering ripening strawberries.
Okay.
So it's going to be bigger and more colorful tonight than
Wow.
other full moons because of its pass across the sky.
Okay.
And your best view will be like look toward the eastern sky for the strawberry moon.
Okay. Bonnie, did you know that according to a recent study, 1 out of 4 people won't date someone if they have a pet? If they have a pet.
That's probably true. Yeah.
Because they have a phobia against animals.
Yeah, I will say that will be true.
Okay.
1
all
in
right.
4.
Yeah, this is just a statement.
Okay.
1 in 4. 1 in
Oh,
4.
oh, then
1
it
out of
is
4
true
people
then.
won't. Yeah, it is true. They
Yeah.
won't date someone if they have a pet.
Yeah, that's funny. I was reading about Friends last night, the TV show Friends. And I think it was Ross on the show that had to, he had a little pet monkey that came on his shoulder for a while on the show.
Mhm.
He absolutely hated the monkey, but he had to pretend that he loved it. And then I think it was Matt LeBlanc that fell in love with the monkey and
Okay.
actually liked it.
All right. Lastly, Bonnie, did you know that candy canes were invented in 1670 in Germany to keep kids quiet in church?
Oh, were they?
How about that one?
That I could probably believe. Yeah.
Right? They were invented in 1670 to keep kids quiet in church.
Have you ever been like in church with your mom and dad? You were little and you got sort of a laughing fit going on.
I never went to church when I was a child.
Uh-huh.
I led, unfortunately, you would never know this by my personality, but I was very how do I put it? I was very sheltered when I was a child.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I was very very sheltered. I led a very I was very protected by my parents. I was an only child, so my parents were extremely very, very protective over me.
You would never know that. You're right, because you're so outgoing now.
Mhm.
You're just outgoing, and you would never even think that.
Exactly. I'm hoping to possibly. I wonder if the priest or the rabbi are online right now, so we can get a little tease of what's going to be coming up on the show in the next hour. Are either one of you there by any chance?
Yeah, man, we're here, bro.
What's happening? Father Christian is with us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing quite well, and we are very excited to for our show coming up. We got Reverend Melanie Mullen, who's on the front lines in DC, doing some great work, and so we're excited to just be digging deep into our current events that we're dealing with as a country.
I always like to give our listening audience just a little bit of a tease of what's coming up in your program, because your program is riveting, it's entertaining, it's truth, it's knowledge, everything. It's all compacted into one small little 8-ounce can.
The check is in the mail for such a wonderful introduction to our show.
Hey, by the way, how is Father Christian? How's the new baby?
The new baby's great. Right now, I'm looking at the monitor that he's sleeping, and so if he wakes up, then the rabbi is going to be just he'll be steering the whole hour long.
Okay,
I gotta go play Mr. Mom.
We might want to buckle up with a double harness if the rabbi is steering the ship. Correct?
It's yeah. Right? Is that right, Rabbi?
It's not my first rodeo. It's not my first
All right.
rodeo.
Okay. Now, how is the sleep pattern going for you, Father Christian? Are you getting at least 4 hours sleep an evening?
Yes, and I must say my wife has been a true warrior, and she's been doing the night shift. So and so it's incredible, and all I can say is she's amazing. So now, if you ask her that question, it'd be a very different story.
All right, folks, stick around. Just after 9 o'clock, priest and a rabbi, world-renowned programming right here on WSTU. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be great. They'll be on with us in just a little bit. Well, that's the end of the show. That's the Friday edition. We're out of here like yesterday's kitty litter, Bonnie.
Yeah, we are. And I can't wait excited for the weekend, because I know I'm going swimming.
All right, very good. You going to Blind Creek Beach?
No, I'm
just want to check.
I'm taking child with me.
Because you did say you're taking Gary with you one day.
No, I'm taking a 12-year-old boy with me.
All right, so that'll be the regular beach, and then Blind Creek is next.
We're not going to hit any risque beach.
There you go. All right, we say ciao mein,
Honduras,
and arriva dirty. And in the words of Ellen DeGeneres,
be kind to one another.
Folks, have a great weekend. We're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's heritage station. Don't you dare touch that dial. Real entertainment is coming up next hour. Don't go anywhere. Bye-bye for now.